For many years, Guy Penrod was more than just a gospel singer. He was a symbol of peace, faith, and strength for countless people. His voice was rich, powerful, and deeply emotional, carrying not just music but a message of hope and devotion. Whether he was singing on big stages as part of the Gaither vocal band or performing in small churches, Guy had a special way of touching hearts. Fans loved him not only for his talent, but also for his calm spirit and sincere personality. He never chased fame or headlines, and this made him even more respected. People saw him as someone who represented faith and family values, even while living in the spotlight. Yet, as the years went by, something began to change. His presence on stage became less frequent, and slowly, questions began to rise. Where had Guy Penrod gone? Was he facing health problems? Had he retired without saying a word? For a long time, these questions remained unanswered, leaving fans confused and worried. The silence from Guy and his family only fueled curiosity. That is why when his wife, Angie Clark, finally decided to speak, her words carried so much weight. After years of wondering, fans finally received the answers they had been waiting for. When a well-loved artist disappears from the public eye, speculation often takes the place of facts. That is exactly what happened with Guy Penrod. Fans who were used to his strong presence noticed that his concerts became rare, his interviews stopped, and his social media accounts grew quiet. In today's world, silence often creates its own story, and soon enough, people began making assumptions. Some thought he might be sick, while others suggested he had lost his voice. There were even more extreme rumors that he had stepped away from music forever or was facing a personal crisis. The internet gave rise to countless theories, with bloggers and YouTubers sharing unverified stories. Some of these were kind-hearted guesses, while others were wild and completely inaccurate. The truth, however, remained unknown because the Penrod family chose not to comment. For years, they remained private, ignoring the noise of speculation. This left fans both worried and hopeful at the same time. They wanted clarity, but they also respected Guy's right to privacy. Still, the unanswered questions kept growing. Then came the moment when Angie Clark, Guy's wife, chose to finally break her silence. Her words brought a mix of comfort, relief, and inspiration. When Angie finally spoke out, her message was clear and filled with love. She explained that Guy's withdrawal from the spotlight was not caused by scandal, illness, or any crisis. Instead, it was a personal decision, a choice to step back from the demands of fame and the constant pressure of being in the public eye. For decades, Guy had traveled endlessly, performing night after night, giving interviews, and carrying the heavy responsibility of being a voice of faith for so many people. While he never lost his passion for music or ministry, the constant demands eventually left him exhausted. Angie revealed that Guy simply needed time to pause, reflect, and reconnect with the things that truly mattered in his life. He chose faith over fame, peace over pressure, and family over public attention. According to Angie, this was not a story of loss but one of renewal. She described how Guy found strength again through prayer, meditation, and time with loved ones. Her words showed that sometimes, stepping back is not a sign of weakness but a step toward a healthier and more meaningful life. Fans who were worried about him being unwell found comfort in knowing that his choice was intentional and filled with purpose. With the spotlight behind him, Guy Penrod began embracing a different kind of life. Instead of living on the road and traveling from city to city, he focused on the quiet blessings at home. Angie shared how their time together became richer and more fulfilling. They spent long days walking through nature, sitting together in prayer, and enjoying conversations that years of busy schedules often did not allow. Life on their farm became their new rhythm, one that was slower but also more meaningful. Guy returned to songwriting, not for record labels or big productions, but for himself and his faith. He also started mentoring young gospel singers, guiding them not just in music, but also in how to stay true to their values while navigating the pressures of the industry. In this new season, Guy was still inspiring people, just in a quieter, more personal way. This shift showed that influence is not always about being in front of thousands. Sometimes, the most powerful impact comes from one-on-one guidance, family devotion, and living faithfully behind closed doors. Angie's words painted a picture of a man who had not disappeared, but simply chosen a different stage. The stage of everyday life filled with love, faith, and peace. Angie did not only explain their journey, but also took time to thank the fans. She acknowledged the many prayers, letters, and kind words that people sent over the years. She shared that Guy himself had read many of those messages and felt deeply moved by the love and concern. Her statement reminded everyone that celebrities, even those who seem larger than life, are still human beings with emotions, struggles, and limits. Angie said that being in the spotlight does not mean every detail of one's life must be public. Sometimes silence is necessary for healing and growth. She encouraged fans to see this break not as an ending, but as a new chapter. At 61, Guy is still full of life, still singing, and still deeply rooted in his faith. He may not be on the same stages as before, but he has not left music behind completely. Angie's heartfelt words ended with a simple but powerful message. Fame may fade, but faith remains. For many fans, this was the perfect reminder of why they admired Guy in the first place, not just for his talent, but for his integrity and devotion to God. Guy Penrod's story is more than just about a singer stepping away from fame. It is about the courage to choose what matters most. In a world that constantly pushes people toward attention and recognition, Guy chose to step back and live quietly. This decision speaks volumes about his character and his priorities. Angie's revelation showed that their marriage grew stronger during this period, as they leaned on each other and found joy in small, simple moments. Together, they built a life centered on faith, peace, and intentional living. This is a powerful reminder for everyone that success is not always about being seen or heard. Sometimes the greatest success is building a life of meaning, even if the world is not watching. Fans may have missed seeing Guy on stage, but knowing that he is happy, healthy, and living a life of purpose gives them a new reason to admire him. His journey is a lesson that even when fame quiets down, faith, love, and devotion can shine brighter than ever. Guy Penrod's journey from the vibrant stage to a life of quiet devotion is a story that touches deeply, offering a powerful testament to the shifting priorities that often come with a life truly lived. His wife Angie's recent, heartfelt words have not only brought a definitive end to years of speculation about his public absence, but have also offered a message of profound hope and inspiration to the many who have followed his career. Rather than a tale of loss or a fall from grace, this is a beautiful story of renewal, centering on the bedrock values of family and unwavering faith. While Guy may not be in the spotlight with the same frequency as before, his influence is far from diminished. It continues to resonate powerfully, felt in the lives of the young artists he quietly mentors, in the heartfelt new music he creates for himself and for God, and in the profound love he so clearly shares with his family. His legacy, therefore, is not a simple metric measured by the number of sold-out concerts or chart-topping albums. Instead, it is defined by the sincerity of his choices and the genuine authenticity of his faith. For fans who once wondered if he had simply disappeared, Angie's revelation provides a clear and comforting answer. He has simply stepped into a new chapter, one that is undeniably quieter, but no less meaningful. This is a journey that many can relate to, a decision to trade external applause for internal peace. It's a reminder that true fulfillment often lies not in what the world sees, but in what one builds for themselves and their loved ones. In a world obsessed with fame and constant visibility, Guy Penrod's story is a compelling counter-narrative. It challenges the notion that a life of purpose must be a public one. The profound transition from a celebrated singer on the world's biggest stages to a man dedicated to a more private, spiritual path speaks volumes. It speaks to a deep, personal understanding that the truest joy and most lasting impact are often found away from the clamor of the crowd. He has chosen to prioritize his spiritual well-being and the nurturing of his family, recognizing that these are the foundations upon which a truly rich life is built. His continued work, though less publicized, is a living embodiment of his faith. The music he now creates is not for commercial success, but for a higher purpose, a direct expression of his devotion. This shift represents a kind of artistic freedom that few ever achieve, the ability to create purely from the heart, without the pressures of market expectations or public opinion. It is in this space of authenticity that his music finds its most powerful voice, speaking directly to the soul rather than simply entertaining the ear. Angie's closing message rings with an undeniable truth. Fame may be fleeting and ultimately fade, but a well-grounded faith remains. In that unwavering faith, Guy Penrod continues to inspire, reminding the world that the most beautiful songs are not always those sung on a stage before thousands, but are the ones lived out in the everyday moments of love, commitment, and quiet devotion. His life is a melody of redemption and purpose, a gentle but powerful reminder that the most profound legacies are often built in the silence, away from the spotlight, and in service to something much greater than oneself. This new chapter of his life is not an ending, but a new beginning, a testament to the enduring power of faith to guide and sustain.